Peace. Today we're going to discuss how behavior impacts and influences your health, right? So first, I separated this into 4 sections. First is the environmental influences. Second is the perceived threats. Third is motivation, and the fourth is principles of behavior change, okay? So why am I qualified to speak about these things? How do I know about these things, and why should you listen to me? First of all, I am studying to become a personal trainer, so it's a lot of information that I'm becoming exposed to, a lot of the information that I am becoming exposed to, I will often share it with you guys. So this is why I'm accredited, right? Or this is why I'm a credible source for you guys to hear from what I got to say and how I know about these topics, okay? I just want to say that because there's a lot of people, I just want you guys to be aware of this too. It's a lot of people on the internet spreading false information. It's a lot of people talking about stuff that they don't have no credentials to back up, or just talking out their ass because they want to look like they smart and and articulate. No, motherfucker, y'all motherfuckers don't be knowing what y'all talking about. So environmental influences, physical and social. So physical and social factors directly impact our willpower. And research often shows that willpower is not infinite. So you have a limited amount of willpower. So if these factors impact your willpower, you have to understand how to manage and use your willpower the correct way. 3 main things I want you guys to keep in mind regarding social, the physical and social environmental influences part, okay? So I want you guys to keep in mind cues to action. So cues to action are basically events that motivate you to change. So for example, motivate you to engage in behavior. For example, keeping a gym bag in your bag in the car, right? It motivates you to potentially go to the gym, so it's potentially helping you. All right, now let's discuss perceived threats, right? Let me come over. This concept drives many behavior changes, especially when it comes to health. So this is very imperative for you to understand and notice. So perceived seriousness. Perceived seriousness is the belief in severity of health risk. So what does that mean? So health risk basically is just a health illness, right? So for example, right, people won't use condoms if they think STDs are not serious. So they think that the severity of STDs aren't too severe. They would then not use STDs, okay? So this directly impacts your habits, and this is just psychology, okay? So you have to understand this before you try to implement a behavior, but you have to understand your mind and how your mind naturally works. Perceived susceptibility. Perceived susceptibility is the belief in the likelihood of experiencing a health risk. So for example, people who don't think they will get the flu won't get the shot. So basically just simply means that, like the example states, if you believe that you won't experience an illness, then you'll do certain things based on that conclusion. So for example, you won't get the flu shot because you believe that you won't get the flu, okay? So seriousness, this is how I remember the two. When it comes to seriousness, right, it's serious, okay? So when you're serious about something, you're not playing games. If you grew up and your mother was serious about you not getting sick, she would implement certain little habits, certain behaviors that will allow you to not get sick. So meaning that will allow you and stop you from experiencing an illness, okay? Because why? Your mother had a higher perceived seriousness of the flu compared to everybody else's mother out there, okay? Cues to action, all right? So now we're going to talk about cues to action. Cues to action are events that motivate people to change. For example, mass media campaigns on health issues of not working out. So cues to action, this could be a cue to action for somebody to start working out. Social media, marketing campaigns, blah, 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 right? Cues to action, let me emphasize this, okay? Cues to action are imperative when it comes to changing that negative behavior, because when you have a cue to action, it would cue you to act, all right? So let's just talk about words. When you have a cue to action, it will cue you to act. What does it mean when something cues me to act? It would cue, meaning it would influence you to reinforce that behavior again and again and again. For example, if you leave a working out bag in your car or something, right? Or if you wake up, boom, your workout clothes right in front of you as soon as you wake up, you're more likely that's a cue to action. That's a cue that will eventually lead to the action. Your action is working out. The cue is the clothes, or your action is going to the gym. The cue is the workout bag right on your driver's seat as soon as you open the door. So it's like, okay, this is my cue to action. Now that I've seen this, it cued me to act, okay? And these are 3 things that we have to understand and perceive threat. All right, so now we're going to dive into motivation. There's 2 types of motivation and personal training, okay? It's autonomous motivation, controlled motivation. There's two types of motivation in personal training. It's autonomous motivation and controlled motivation. Autonomous motivation is basically self-driven motivation. It also can be considered intrinsic motivation. When somebody is intrinsically motivated, they often work out for reasons such as enjoyment and self-care. Keep in mind that autonomous motivation also leads to high motivation. So anybody who contains self-driven motivation, they will have high motivation compared to somebody who contains controlled motivation. But what is controlled motivation? Controlled motivation is externally pressurized motivation. What does that mean? When you're externally pressurized, you work out for reasons such as pleasing others to gain reward. Controlled motivation can also be considered extrinsic motivation. So basically, extrinsic, intrinsic, okay? Extrinsic motivation, as you guys can guess, leads to low motivation. So I want you guys to keep this in mind. You need to ask yourself, if you're trying to implement a healthy behavior lifestyle change, because let me tell you guys this also too. So I'm 17, man. I'm vegan. I've been vegan for about 3-4 years, and I work out consistently. So I would consider myself to be pretty healthy. You know what I mean? So especially compared to a lot of my peers, I like to lift weights. I like to do all that. I have infinite amount of energy. If you ask me, like I don't never have an issue with energy. The only thing is I don't get as many hours of sleep as I need to, right? But my diet mainly consists of vegetables, no bull. So I just want to tell you guys, like, I literally know what this feels like. If I don't go to the gym for about 3 to 4 days, I feel off. I feel fat. You see what I'm saying? Why? Because my motivation is self-driven, right? I'm self-driven to work out. Some people are self-motivated and others are not. But people who are not self-motivated, they need to understand that once you just do something, you're motivating yourself, because action creates motivation, okay? Past exercise performance will increase your self-efficacy. Your self-efficacy in fitness training, personal fitness training, is simply just an amount of self-confidence. People who have high self-efficacy often tend to have higher self-confidence, and they often tend to challenge themselves more, okay? People who have a low self-efficacy, aka low self-confidence, they often avoid challenging tasks and often don't work out as hard as people who have high self-efficacy. So how does self-efficacy even connect to this, okay? It connects to this because when you have autonomous motivation, you most likely contain a higher level of self-efficacy, because you contain a higher level of self-confidence, because your motivation is intrinsically motivated, man. Like you motivate yourself. You don't have to have an external reason to go work out, right? So the whole goal and objective of understanding this, the autonomous and controlled motivation, it's mandatory, it's imperative. You have to ask yourself, okay, am I internally pressured? Is my motivation externally pressured or internally pressured? Am I working out for me, or do I work out to get a certain reward, to get a certain positive reinforcement from others? Or do I just work out because, hey, look, I just like keeping my body in shape. It's a form of self-love for me. For example, working out is a form of therapy for me. I go in there, let all my anger out. I'm good, all right? Because I ain't going to lie, I kind of do got I don't got anger issues, but, my anger could get out of control sometimes, which is why I used to box too. So I just go in the boxing ring. I just love to spar. You know what I'm saying? I just love to. That's just me. I just love that. I just love to spar. I actually spar my friends occasionally, but not to get too off track, right? My whole point is that when you understand this, right, everything comes from within. You should often be motivated from self-driven, your own reasons, such as enjoyment and self-care. Lastly, let's explore the principles of behavior change. But first, in order to understand this, you have to understand something called operant conditioning. What is operant conditioning? Operant conditioning states that behavior is shaped by consequences. The main components of operant conditioning and the principles of behavior change. So first is positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, extinction, and then punishment. Positive reinforcement is just simply rewarding a good behavior. So for instance, verbal praise for showing up to the gym. Negative reinforcement removes unpleasant stimuli. So for example, removing a disliked task if workout is completed. Extinction is basically just stating the idea that if you stop rewarding a behavior, it will no longer be present. So for example, no reward for skipping sessions. Punishment states that negative consequences removes a behavior. So for example, extra fee for missing training. There's also a term called stimulus control. What is stimulus control? Stimulus control is modifying your environment in order to reinforce a behavior or encourage a behavior. So for example, right, like I was mentioning earlier too, keeping visible workout gear in the seat of your car. So that's basically modifying the environment around you to make sure you reinforce a behavior and it becomes like this, right? Because for example, a person like me, it's easier for me to be in the gym, right? It may not be easy for somebody else. So they have to do little things and get in the habit of it, okay? It's getting 1% better every day. Every day, consistency, repetition. Also, with this, the main takeaway you guys should get from this is that you have to celebrate the little things when it comes to working out, no matter how big, how little, okay? So any little things, so say if you just get up to the gym today, say if you want to start working out, you never worked out before, you get up and go to the gym today, you literally just do, say, 5 push-ups, 10 jumping jacks, and then you hit 5 minutes of abs, and that's it. That's a victory because yesterday you wouldn't have did that. Let me come up here. That's a victory because yesterday you guys wouldn't have did that. Not you guys, but that's a victory because yesterday you wouldn't have did that. So you have to celebrate the little things because the little things lead up to the big things, okay? So if you celebrate these little victories, then it's like mentally you're going to feel progress, okay? People love, especially nowadays, people love the feeling of dopamine. But obviously going to, work out, it could release a little bit of dopamine if you get in the flow of it. You got to be in a flow state when you work out. I'm talking about don't even care about notifications, just bumping your music or whatever, or just, just in a flow like, give me another set, nigga, I'm ready to do another rep, you hit me? So that's just the flow that you getting in the flow, the rhythm, like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just have fun with it. Just like boxing. They say boxing is like dancing. You're not supposed to be there. And you got to dance, man. You got to dance on a... So you gotta dance on it. So it gotta be fun. Make it fun. So boom, basically, there it is. Okay, understanding behavior change isn't just science. It's about helping ourselves, but better understand ourselves mentally, psychology wise. Because a lot of people don't understand. Man, listen, the gym is mental, bro. It's about pushing yourself. It's about getting out of your comfort zone. So if you go to the gym lazy, procrastinating, then, not pushing yourself out the comfort zone, you're going to do that shit in real life. You're going to be real life lazy and then procrastinating and not pushing yourself out the comfort zone in your career. You're going to do that in school. You're going to do that. So you have to understand that when you lead a good workout with a good mindset, and then it's like, it's just up from there. Like, it's no losing. So if you push yourself out the comfort zone during the gym, you're most likely to do that where else? You're most likely to do that in your career, in school, because it's easy for you. I'm so used to being in a flow state. I'm so used to just feeling the rhythm of my working out. I'm so used to just working out like I'm dancing, and I'm just flowing, and I'm just, yeah, this feel good to me. You feel me? This feel good to me. So you basically just gonna go over real quick before I end the video the main takeaways you should get from this. Environmental influences, physical and social, impact your ability to encourage your behavior. Also, I forgot to do the intention doesn't equal action. So what exactly does this mean? So intention doesn't equal action means that when you intend to want to do something, my intention was to come to the gym, do 50 push-ups, boom, 20 squats, whatever the case is, right? When you intend to want to do something, it's different from actually taking action to do it, okay? So you gotta have the intention to want to work out. You could go to the gym and not even do the workout you intended to go there for, right? Not even do the workout that you intended to do when you arrived at the gym, right? So intention doesn't mean equal action. So it's easy to talk about something, but like I said earlier, just do it. Just do it. It's you versus you at the end of the day. Just do it. Just work out. Just do it. You don't got nothing to lose. Okay? If you don't do as many sets as you wanted to, cool. You did a set. Okay? If you couldn't hit 200 on a deadlift, 200 on a bench press, cool. You ain't hit the 200, but at least you hit 150. You know what I'm saying? Some people can even hit 130. Some people can even hit 120. So celebrate the little things. You have to celebrate you. Essentially, how behavior impact and influences health just teaches you how to celebrate you, how to understand that the little things matter 1% better every day. So basically, that's all I got today. I hope you guys gain some insight, and I hope you always also do your own due diligence.